In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to bulletproof your business so you never have to worry about someone leaving or having to fire somebody again. I see way too many entrepreneurs afraid to let go of team members and keeping them on for way too long because they don't have a good process to replace them very quickly. So today I'm going to share with you the exact process, everything you need step by step in order to actually go from being people dependent to process dependent. So last year I was talking to Dan Martell in his office. We're kind of just hanging out and he's like, Jeremy, you want to know one of my biggest secrets to business? I said, yes. And he's like, my company is process dependent, not people dependent. So what this means is that if somebody leaves or you have to let go of somebody, the business doesn't grind down to a halt. He said that literally within 14 days, he can find a replacement, train them up, onboard them, and have them firing at KPIs within 14 to 28 days. And that means the business moves forward. So people come and go all the time, right? I just hired a new client success manager for my program because my previous one, who was with me for a year, had just left to start his own offer, right? And therefore, I kind of learned this lesson the hard way. I should have listened last year and kind of like got Eduardo to kind of like replace himself, or at least like duplicate himself through a series of playbooks and SOPs and like processes, because the problem with being too like people dependent is now like Eduardo was like a unicorn. He was incredible and awesome at every single thing that my clients needed, right? And so that's very hard to replace. You know, unicorns are tough. There's a lot of like key man risk when you have them on the team. But what you need to do is start documenting them, right? Start getting them to document everything that they do on a day-to-day basis, what they do when they wake up, right? How they talk to clients, and then just work with them week to week to build documents and playbooks so you have processes. Then when you do need to hire somebody else, and I just hired a new CSM, and this guy's an absolute weapon too, what we're going to do is we're going to build out the whole client success playbook. We're going to have a full set of documents and SOPs. So that way, when I have to hire more CSMs down the road, it's very simple and straightforward. I can plug somebody in there and it doesn't require a whole lot of time, effort, or like training because it's all there already. And so, for example, I just got off a call with my appointment setter, and he said like he's an awesome guy. He's an absolute weapon, and he has a massive vision, right? And so one of his goals ultimately is to start his own business and his own offer. And so that's why Eduardo left as well, right? Because he felt like he kind of mastered what he was doing here. And then he's like, cool, time to go back on my own and scale that. And that's totally fine. And so I told Nicola, my setter today, I'm like, dude, we're not getting married, right? Like there's no ring on our finger. And like, I don't expect you to stay with me for the rest of our life. What I see is somebody with a massive vision, with huge goals. And I'm like, if for some reason down the road, like we're not aligned anymore, it's like, that's totally fine. I still want you to win. But what I need from you, because I know that, is to start documenting everything you're doing so I can replace you when that time comes. So then you don't feel as bad leaving, or I don't feel as bad like letting you go, because like then we're protected. And so what's important to do straight from the start is when you bring on a new team member, it's important that you have their job responsibilities and requirements and their daily actions and expectations clearly laid out. That part of their job is to document and build SOPs, standard operating procedures, or playbooks on how they're doing their job. And so I was out for dinner with a bunch of guys on Dan's team a few weeks ago and learned some very insightful things from them. They said, when somebody makes a mistake, you don't attack the person, you attack the playbook. So let's say I mess up, I should have done this thing a certain way, I did it a different way, and I didn't get the result that I wanted, right? My boss isn't going to attack me for being a shitty employee. They're going to attack the playbook and be like, okay, what was missing in the playbook that led you to do it this way and not this way, right? And so then we can actually learn from it. We update the playbook and then we're good to go. And so basically what this means is like, now you're not dependent on somebody's like skills or like their competency, because it's just all in there. You can train somebody up. It makes it so much easier. And like a really powerful leadership principle is hire for the soul, train for the role. But if you don't have any training systems in place, then you have to do all of that one-on-one, right? It's just like building like a group coaching program. When you have a course, that is your playbook, right? That's your playbook for helping somebody achieve a transformation. Well, you have to do the same thing for your team members, right? And I was on a hike with Dan once as well, and he was like, Jeremy, like, he's like, do you think I'm the one building the playbooks, the SOPs? He's like, no, maybe I'll record me doing the thing, and then I assign somebody, like the person that's gonna be doing the thing, they're the owner of the playbook. It's their responsibility to watch the video. They document everything themselves, and then you review that playbook together to make sure that they understood everything properly. And so by them building the playbook and documenting it themselves, that further deepens and strengthens their understanding of the job itself. And so it's a total win-win, right? Because you don't have to sit there and build all of the playbooks for your entire business. Your team members do that, but they get better and they learn better as well because they own it. And so having a directly responsible individual is it's incredibly important, and it's critical that they own it. Otherwise, they're not going to do it, and they're not going to take ownership of it. So then you're probably not going to have a very good one. And so right now, what I've been working on is the entire Summit Leadership Playbook. So how to find, hire, train, manage, and lead team members. And so that way, I'm going to give this to my clients as well at some point, probably my mastermind clients, the ones that are building teams and stuff. So that way they have a full playbook to go from like a kind of a solo entrepreneur, like a coach, to an actual CEO, an executive, and somebody who runs a real business. And so it's important that you do that properly. You set the expectation straight from day one that, hey, this is part of your job. Yes, to do the things, but most importantly, to document it. And then you want to have the documents, all the playbooks, very clearly organized and just all in the same place where they're easy to find. You want to follow a process too that's very easy to make them and very easy to follow. And so what Dan says, the camcorder method, is like step one is camcorder, which means you just do a video recording of you doing the thing, right? So there's a video evidence of you doing the thing. And then, so you can do that, and then your team members do a course. So it's basically like step by step, what they need to do. Step one, do this. Step two, do this. Step three, do this, right? So on and so forth. Cadence, how often does this get done? Is it every Friday at 3 p.m.? Is it every Monday on the team call? Is it every time with every new client, right? And so it's going to be different, but it's important to make that known. And then the last one is the checklist, right? So after they do it, make sure they check these boxes to ensure that these things are done this way. So that way you get consistent, predictable outcomes every single time, and you're not relying on chance or people, because people aren't perfect and people make mistakes. But if you rely on processes, then not only are you bulletproofing your business so that if somebody comes or goes, then you're good to go and you're okay, you'll survive, and your business can keep growing and keep moving forward. But also the quality of the work and the outputs that get done by you and the team are on point as well, and they're dialed in. And so you want to make sure that, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can follow that method or you simplify it. ChatGPT can help with this big time too. So for example, hire my new CSM. We're building out the CS playbook, the client success playbook, and also the leadership playbook that I said as well. So now I have a full playbook that I used ChatGPT to help me build, to help me know where to find the right people, what to look for, how to run an interview. So using ChatGPT, now I have this entire playbook that teaches me where to find a new CSM, how to interview them, what to look for in an interview, how to score them, what green flags and red flags to look out for, how to ask the right questions to determine A, are they competent for the role and they can do the job well, but B, are they a good culture fit based on my specific company culture? And so what's important is you find people that you actually enjoy working with and that are actually cool and that fit the culture of your company. Otherwise, it's not gonna be fun, you're not gonna enjoy it, and you're not gonna enjoy spending time with them too. And so you all have to be on the same wavelength. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And so now when my current client success manager becomes a client success director and he's hiring and building a team of CSMs, now we have a full playbook. So that process becomes super easy and very, very simple as we scale. So right now we're kind of building the back end, building the foundations. So that way, when we do scale, it's seamless, it's smooth, right? Obviously it's not going to be, there's going to be a lot of shit that breaks and a lot of things that go wrong, and a lot of fires come up, but we'll be able to solve them much faster and much smoother. And so it's so important that you do this. Now, keep in mind, if you're at like 5K a month, 10K a month, like you're probably not going to need to do this. But if you're pushing 30, 50, 100K a month, like now's the time to start building this stuff, because you're hiring appointment setters, you're hiring closers, you're hiring coaches, CSMs, and assistants, content people. You want to make sure that like everything is in line. Otherwise, you don't really have a business. You're just a glorified freelancer with other glorified freelancers working for you. And when one of them leaves, then you have to go find somebody else who's going to do the thing a different way, or not as good, or not how you want it. And so when you have the process documented, then there's no hiding. It gets done, again, like I said, the right way, the right time, every single time. I can't English today, but you get the point. And so, yeah, you want to make sure that you do that. You build your business so it's process dependent, not people dependent. And that's how you're going to bulletproof it. That's how you're going to protect yourself and the rest of your team when things happen, because things do happen. Team members usually have a lifespan, and then they feel like they are ready to either like ascend to the next level in your company, or find somewhere else where they can't hit their goals. And that's fine, right? It's important to stay detached and to make sure that you're covering all of your bases. Otherwise, it's not going to be a very happy outcome. And so if you can cut your hiring and training and onboarding process down from like 2 to 3 months for new team members to like 2 to 3 weeks, then you're gonna be able to move so much faster than everybody else. Annihilate all of your goals. And so that's what I want for you. I want you to make a ton of money, have a ton of fun while you do it, and build a business that you don't hate. And so if you got value from this video, let me know down below in the comments. Hit the like button. I appreciate that. And if you want my help to build out the playbooks and everything like that, shoot me a message on Instagram or book a call down below using the link, and then I will see you on the other side.